All right, I think oh, there he is. There go Mr. Collins. Good afternoon, everyone. We wanted to officially welcome you to the Kroger NextGen Job Readiness Program. And we do have our host today, Ms. Taiwana Mathis. But before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that I recognize all the names. Some of the names I recognize on the list, but I do have someone listed as iPhone. If you're on the call as iPhone, will you unmute yourself and let us know who you are?
That's me. I'm sorry. Abby Johnson or Abigail.
Abby.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. Oh no,
I apologize. I
you're
tried to
fine.
fix the settings.
You are so fine. We're excited to have you back again. We just wanted to make sure that we knew everyone that was on the call. You're welcome, and we can leave it like that. We just make a note that iPhone is Miss Johnson. So Miss Mathis, we are ready. You can take it over from here. You should have the ability to share your screen and all of that.
Perfect. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen, and welcome and thank you so much for joining today's session. This should actually be like our third session together. So I'm super excited to see everyone. Usually I have my partner in crime, Tina Bowman. However, as you guys know, we're still in a pandemic and she actually oversees our COVID task force for the company. And lately, as an overall company, this is some insight for you guys. We actually have been hit tremendously with cases. And so Tina is on another call. Her goal was to be able to jump off that call in time to get here. So I don't see her online. She may pop in as we continue through the session, but I wanted to let you guys know where she was and let you guys know she really wished that she was here and not on a COVID task force call for sure. So what I'll do is I'll go right into our agenda. Second. There we go. Okay. So today, a few of you guys, hopefully everyone was able to attend our second session where we went over a few key things. The major piece that we talked about was showcasing your elevator speech. And then also just how do you brand yourself, right? And so how do you identify what you would like to present to the world as you get out there and start pursuing your professional and also just your personal careers as well. And so today I wanted to see if anyone was brave today on the call, just to give us like 5 or 10 minutes if you would like to volunteer to just showcase your elevator speech. And so really, I just wanted someone to lift their hand and just, if I met you in the elevator and you had a quick 60 seconds, 2 minutes to really tell me who you are, what would that speech be? After that, we're going to go straight into understanding your career focus. And then we'll talk about kickstarting your job search. Also, I did want to make sure before we moved on, I wanted to also thank the individuals on the call that were able to attend either our virtual career event or in-person interviews. As I just stated, with COVID, we are really delayed in the process of hiring and then also onboarding associates. So I did reach out to the hiring managers to see if I can get a feedback on anyone who was able to attend. So if you have not heard anything back from Kroger, I am working on getting that feedback from everyone on what those next steps are. So I apologize for the delay. This is typically not the case. But again, I'm working on the inside to get that information for you guys as well.
Hey, Ms. Mathis, before we go further, it looks like we had some additional guests to join,
Okay.
2 of which are our administrators. So I did want to recognize them. We have Mr. Bomer. He is the principal of our high school. And
Awesome.
we have Ms. Teresa Warren. She works with our students and with special services. So they are both here. We're happy that they were able to pop on. No, you guys don't have to stay the whole time. We know your schedule is extremely busy and crazy, but we just wanted to recognize you as being on the call and wanted to give you an opportunity if you wanted to say something to the students or you wanted to say something, you're welcome to do so at this time.
Just thanks for the invitation. It's good to be here, and I'm excited for you guys to get to start this this new opportunity, and looking forward to hearing how it's going.
Well, we're grateful for our partnership with Kroger and also for the ability for our kids to learn from some skills job skills, some lifelong skills that's going to help them later on, currently and later on. So we really appreciate that. You know, we believe in that philosophy, empowering our students for college and career and life success. And so we want to say thank you for that opportunity for our kids.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the opportunity to connect with your students.
Awesome. So now we can go back to the students. Who was the brave soul that's ready to do their elevator speech? You can just unmute yourself.
One, I have to have one volunteer out there.
What about Mr. Cole? Mr. Cole, can you unmute yourself? Are you able to unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I guess I would introduce myself. So something like, hello, my name is Phillip Cole. I was really interested in this line of work, and I was wondering if you could give me like 10 seconds to explain some things that I want to do, help you with throughout your company, maybe. And then I
Awesome.
guess I would go into detail about that.
And so if I gave you the 10 seconds, what is a just really quick pitch of yourself? So remember, you just want to use a few keywords to just identify yourself and the benefit of us having you within our company when you meet someone. So what are some a few key words that you would use to describe yourself? And then also the reward of us with having you work with us.
I would say I'm good with communication skills. I know how to talk to people. I feel I can get along with people very well. And then I could benefit your company because being able to have somebody with good communication skills really comes into key play when it comes to connecting to other people.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you also for being the first one. It's always difficult to be the first one and kind of like navigate through what that process is. So
Yeah.
thank you for being brave and volunteering to do it. Thank you, Tanya, for calling on him. But you did an amazing job. Again, remember, anytime that you just meet someone, and elevator speeches, a lot of times we connect them to career opportunities, but I like to say that I like to use those when I introduce myself in a network professional setting as well. But then also sometimes when you're meeting new people, it's kind of like really quick, who are you? What is it that I need to know about you? And kind of what do you bring to either an environment or an event that you attend? And so don't just think of your elevator speech to really obtain a job, but also just really quick, that little short commercial we stated last time of who you are. So great job, Phillip.
Awesome.
Do we have one more person who wants to volunteer? Phillip took the hardest part.
What are we gonna pick? I'm going with Abby.
All right.
Got this,
Okay.
Abby. You got
I got
this.
this. I
You
got
got
this.
it.
All right.
Yes, you do.
So, well, I would introduce myself, of course, and I would say, my name's Abby. Abby Johnson. I'm a person who likes to give back. If I, receive something, I like to put a form of, because I was blessed with something, I bless somebody else. It could be anything, I like, I'm a person that believes in communication is key. You gotta communicate, whether that's a thumbs up or, words. I don't know what else to say. That's about it.
Awesome. Great job. And the key to this, the elevator speech is a commercial of you, right? So no one knows if you're wrong or if you're saying it right or if you're missing anything. They're just waiting for you to tell them whatever it is you want to tell them. So don't feel as if, like, if you forget something or forget a statement, that someone is judging you or grading you on if it's right or wrong. It's yours to make it your own. And so I want to thank you, Abby, for being brave also and doing this with us today. And I'm not gonna make the whole class do it, but I do want to leave you with some key things as we remember and you continue to talk about your elevator speech. And hopefully one day soon we'll be seeing each other face to face. I'll be able to come into the building. You'll be able to come into the Kroger building and do some tours and those type of things. But I hope as you do continue to meet other individuals throughout our company and organizations, and I meet others, you always remember when it's time to do your elevator speech, some key things that will help you is just try your best to memorize it. In order to do that, you have to practice. And so right now, just 5 key little sentences that you want to say, 5 to 10 sentences about yourself will help you as you continue to do it. Also, rehearse it. Look in the mirror and say it. And I know sometimes that's uncomfortable because in high school, I remember them saying in public speaking, like, look in the mirror, do your speech in the mirror. And it was so hard for me to do. But as I got older, I realized that it actually really do help. And so take out the fear of embarrassment or you're not doing it right and just do it, right? And so every time you do it, the better and better you will get. Make sure you practice it out loud. So you're in the mirror, give everyone in the house a heads up that you will be talking out loud. You sound like you're talking to yourself, that is okay. But practicing it out loud allows yourself to hear it and get comfortable with it as well. And then lastly, just get comfortable with what you're saying. As long as it's authentic and exactly who you are and what you want the world to know, it should come to you as a breeze. So no worries. So again, congratulations to those who volunteered and was brave enough to do their speeches for us. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into understanding your career focus. And so today I wanted to talk about 2 skills that are very important, not just from a professional side, but again, I like to also make sure that we're communicating to you guys on personally these things that you want to develop within yourself as well. And so when we're out in the professional world, again, I'm on the recruiting side, so a part of talent acquisition, I'm always looking for the different professional skills and transferable skills that would align with us as an organization. And so what typically happens for you to acquire these skills is 2 different ways. So for professional skills, these are more skills that you learn based on your experience, essentially through another career, right? And so if you work somewhere, you're going to develop all these different professional skills. It can be clerical, it can be you know how to type, it can be building out Excel sheets and spreadsheets and all of these different skills that you need to do a certain job within a career. Your transferable skills are a little bit different. So those are skills and also abilities that are helpful for you across different areas of your life. So not just personal and professional, but socially and also within school. So these are the skills that you lean on pretty much probably every day, right? And so if you think about the things you do in school, that will be more in line with leadership and accountability and being on time, so timely and those different things. And so these are skills that even though you're doing them right now in school, they will transfer into the professional life outside of school, but then also in your social life. So those same leadership skills that you display in class is the same leadership skills you'll probably display with your friends and then also within a work environment. I'm just going to give you a few key transferable and professional skills that we look for as an organization. So the top one for us is problem solving. Every day in corporate America, there is always a problem, right? And so our goal is how can we be more solution oriented? So how can we always think of solutions more than we think and focus on the problem? So someone that's able to come in with creativity and innovation and different ways to solve a problem will always be successful in the corporate American world. Critical thinking is very important for you to critical think. It's a lot of times it's easier for you to kind of like think of things really quick on your feet, but taking time to digest and thinking of other alternatives or different avenues of a situation or digesting what something new or a process is always going to be better. And sometimes people think being first is better, But critical thinking is the key to making sure that you have everything you need and understand everything you need to be successful in what we're asking. Flexibility. It is so important to be flexible. I'll give you a great example. For the last 2 sessions, Kroger Firewall has not allowed me to get into Zoom. And so each time I have ran into a wall. And so I have to be flexible. I have to think like, okay, what can I do to make sure that I'm still able to be here with you guys and deliver a program that we're committed to delivering. And so flexibility allowed me to think, let me think plan B, let me think plan C. Don't get so caught up in the issue and what the opportunity is, but more so again brings back to problem solving. What are some solutions that will allow me to do the same exact thing without doing it the way that I first decided to do? So I got out my personal laptop, I emailed everything I need to my personal laptop. And so flexibility is also a key driver in corporate America. Every day you come in and you have a checklist and you're like, these are the things I'm going to do. I'm pretty confident, by 10 o'clock, 5 of those things will change. And so being able to adjust to change and being flexible will always be something that you should be able to pride yourself on. Communication. And so being able to communicate not just with your leader, but also with your peers and your coworkers. And so communication can go a long way. A lot of times when you're new to an environment such as like corporate America and getting out into the working field, it's so easy for you to forget the things that you learned when you think about communication in school. That is the same communication you need to bring into the workforce as well. I sit on calls, your breakfast, your business breakfast, and I watch how they call on different students, and you guys are amazing at communicating. It doesn't seem like you're nervous or anything. And so I can tell that Princeton is getting you prepared to be able to confidently communicate in any situation that you're in. So don't leave that skill. Make sure you take that with you. Teamwork. So I know you thought in class, when you did all those team projects and those team assignments, you thought that would probably be over. It will not. We do a lot of teamwork, a lot of collaboration. Even though I oversee a certain area of the business in the Kroger company, it still takes me partnering with 3 to 4 people just to finish one project. So you will always have to lean on your skills and also your knowledge around teamwork and how to be a team player. That will go on with you throughout high school and also in the career world as well. Organization, creativity. Creativity is huge. One thing I like to say about creativity is it is another way to being able to set yourself apart, right? A lot of times people come up with great ideals, but as you continue to think of creative ways to do things that we've been doing the same, you will always stand out amongst the pack. And a lot of times I know that's the first question I get is when I'm interviewing individuals, like, how fast can I move up? How fast can I be promoted? And I always say, as long as you're creative, flexible, I'm a problem solver, communicating, a team worker, you can move up. That determines you, right? And so make sure you're bringing your creativity into everything you do. And then lastly, emotional intelligence. It's very important to understand that the way you communicate not only affects the people that you're speaking to, but also think about the people around you. And so it's important to be empathetic in your communication. Also understanding that your delivery is key as well. And so your emotional intelligence is just going to help you understand when you should say things and when you should not. So before I move on, I want you guys to go ahead and take your phone off of mute and let me know if there's any skill that you think that I'm missing on this list or one that is a favorite to you. I might have to have Miss Tanya go ahead and start picking names again for me.
I would say like everybody be bought in.
Awesome. I agree. Is there any more? Any of your favorites on this list or anything else you think we left off?
We have some in the chat. Robert Butler said problem solving.
Awesome. I agree. It's so important.
I think communication is key. Sure.
I agree. That is so true. Communication is key in so many different areas, but especially in school and also within the workforce.
Taryn also hopped into the chat and said flexibility.
Mm-hmm. Being flexible. Yes.
I think being able to
adjust is key. Go ahead, Abby.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're fine.
Being able to like cope and like, I guess it's a form of problem solving, but like being able to like, if, let's say you get frustrated with somebody, how can I show like in a professional manner, like how can I show them like, or how can I handle my anger or my frustration and not show it to everybody else? You know, like have that just be an internal thing, I guess.
That's a great question. And that's a skill that it requires all of us. It's not easy. Also, as you get into the workforce, for me, I think a lot of times when we have those type of difficult conversations, or you feel as if you're like butting up against someone else, for me, there's always a lapse in understanding. So if you tell yourself that someone is missing something in the communication, it kind of takes it away that they're potentially doing this on purpose, to more so that there's a lack of understanding. And so when those type of things happen, I usually continue to ask questions in those moments. And so, for instance, I'll have someone who I'm on a project with and they decided not to do their part, right? And so for me, it's like, okay, we have a deadline, we have to meet the deadline. And so at first I can automatically think that you decided not to do it because maybe you didn't think it was important. And so that will be your first thought to do. For me, the next question is, it's like, did you have some things come up? Can you tell me why you were unable to do it? Is there anything I can do to help moving forward? And so that way they know that not only am I asking the why, but I also care, emotional intelligence. I also care to help them as we move forward. And so if you take that step and always just think back that it's not intentional, right? And so look at things based off of intent and not the action of actually what's happening. It should help you to be able to mask your frustration, because now you're going to go through the process of better understanding what is actually really happening. Did that help, Abby?
Yeah, it's hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm in the car. But like I know, like for me when I'm at work, like if I'm serving a customer and let's say I'm getting frustrated with something, I can't necessarily like show that I'm frustrated to to the customer or the crowd, if that makes sense.
No, that do make sense. And I'm happy that you brought that up, because one thing we talk about all the time is hiring for friendly at Kroger. So it's really huge that we think of ways that in any situation we can be friendly. I actually used to work in TJ Maxx, which is like a retailer. And so I had that face-to-face interaction with customers. And I remember being your age. I was 16. I worked at the service desk. And I recall going through so many difficult situations with customers and how much of a struggle it was for me to still smile through it. What I do notice that one thing I learned at Kroger and before Kroger was you have to smile the entire time. And the reason you do this is because actually when you smile, it sends endorphins through your brain that will make you feel happy. And so I will get through the worst situation and that whole time I'm just smiling. And it would make them frustrated that I'm smiling, but that helped me to remain in a state that I wanted to remain in, rather than allowing them to take my joy from me because of them having a bad day. And so if you just work on smiling, even in the worst moments, I promise it will help you. And so now that I gave you that tip, when I speak to you again, I'm going to ask you to share with me a time that something happened with you working in customer service and working with customers, and you continue to smile, and let me know if it helps you or not.
I will do that for sure. And I actually do that a lot at work, especially at like Chick-fil-A, because, people tend to come up there with the, like, they're going to demand what they want. And like, they kind of come up with a direct attitude, if that makes sense. Because the thing is, people know like we're super nice and we're gonna like, you know, give you what you want, and so they sometimes try to cause a scene from it. So I don't know. I try to always like you said, like keep a smile, stay focused on like not letting them take advantage, not get what they want, basically.
I agree. I agree. That's going to help you. And not just for Chick-fil-A, but wherever you go in life, you will run into situations and individuals that has nothing to do with you. And so because of that, you will sometimes experience the things that they deliver and they're not doing it intentional. So again, it goes back to that empathy and always remembering you don't know where other people, like what state of mind or where they are in life. And so because of that, you're just gonna always give them kindness, and so that you will always just get that in return. And so again, I applaud you for continuing to smile through those situations, because I remember being your age. I remember going home and talking to my mom, and I didn't have a job readiness program, so I didn't have anyone to be honest with. And I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, these different situations happen. And my mom gave me the same advice. She said, you kill them with kindness. But again, empathy will always allow you to see or just take a step back to try to understand it. You never know what other people are going through. I think someone else put something in the chat.
I think that was Miss Teresa. She was just saying, thanks for the invite. She had to hop on to another meeting. It was great listening to the conversation. And we did have another one of our supports hop on a call too. That's Miss Janet Main.
Okay.
Janet also works with our students with special needs, exceptional needs, or need additional services. And she's a parent mentor. And so they've been sending students to this program as well. So we've been working with their parents and things like that. So Janet's on the call as well. So I talked to her about your role is diversity, and that looks at more than just skin color, more than just gender and things like that. So just wanted to shout out to her, because I think all the rest of the students you've seen and we've interacted several times before. So Ms. Main, if you wanted to say a couple words, this is a great breaking point if you wanted to say anything. You are on mute.
You talking about me?
No, I was speaking about Janet Main.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, that's okay. You're fine. I can see your mouth moving, Miss Main, but you're still on mute. There we go.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. If my computer's turned down, you also don't hear me. So I had to fumble with it a little bit. But thank you very much for letting me hop in on this. I'm excited that some of our students are getting jobs at Kroger and that there's this type of training. I really think it's important to support new kids that are in jobs. So thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing a little bit about kind of what this is about.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for joining. As Tanya just stated, I do a lot of work, not just in the ethnicity space, but also for disability. And one key thing I want to definitely just communicate is that as a company, we're actually developing an enterprise-wide, so across the entire United States, disability at work program. And so we partner with OOD, which I think is Ohioan. Yep. We partner with that group. Yes,
for Ohioans with
they are amazing. We partner with them now to inquire training on how to recruit more candidates with disability or on the spectrum, but then also what areas of the business we can definitely not only just integrate them in, but also promote them within the company. And so lately, we just kicked off a pilot. We have 3 individuals that are within our IT program. And so they're doing amazing. We have a video coming out. So you guys will start to see that on LinkedIn and also the different social media. So like Instagram and those different things, we should be showcasing that program. And so I'm excited because right now we're talking from a college perspective, but we will now start to look into high school as well.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna move on to the next slide. Okay, so the next, one second. Perfect. So this slide, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about career research and tips and tricks. And so as you start to think about and identifying where you want to go next and what do you want to do, it's important that you research the career that you actually would like to go in before you go into it. Remember, you may be applying for something that turns out not only to be just what you do now, but also a long-term commitment or career in the long term. And so the first few things that we just want to talk about is research the company before you apply for a position. And so I hope that you guys did have time. And actually, I'll take it a step back. Our first session, we were extremely impressed with the knowledge you guys already knew about Kroger. So that let me know that you guys already know that it's important to research any company that you're involved with, even from these type of programs to if you would like to work for them as well. Apply to something that not only do you see yourself now, but also just that long-term commitment. You always want to go into a position and understand what does that career growth look like? What will that promotion be? And so even if you start and you say, hey, in high school, I'm gonna start at Kroger, but when you get out of high school, you have two options. Either you decide to just go straight into the career force, and so stay in the career force, or go to college. Either way, you still want to identify what's the benefit and what that career path is for you. Make sure you explore careers that interest you. That is my statement that I share with the world because it's important to do things that you're interested in and that you're passionate about, because that helps you to really not feel as if you're doing a job more so than you're doing something exciting that you would just do anyway. So if you can ever figure out a way to align your career also with the things you're interested in, you will benefit from that in the long run. Study what skills you need to succeed. And so if I'll give you a great example, if you go into a cashier position, you want to see what is it as a cashier that you need to know in order for you to be successful. And so we know that one, you have to speak to customers. So being friendly will take you a long way in that position. And so make sure you just understand the key things that are gonna help you succeed in the roles you decide to be in. And then also research the salary. It's important to know how much they're paying for a position and compare that to what other individuals are paying. Don't be afraid to ask how much they're paying or if you can negotiate more. Because in the end, again, you want to be paid for the great job that you're doing. And so if you think about it, and the different changes we actually have faced within like the last 2 years from a law perspective when it comes to salary and all of those different things, there's a lot of laws being put into place that is giving that power back to those that are looking for jobs so that you can make the decision if you want to work somewhere or not, just based off of how much they're going to pay you. So don't be afraid to research your salary and also ask those questions within your interview. And I'm gonna stop really quick to see if there's any career research tips and tricks that you guys have done thus far. I know a few of you guys are already working at different places. So tell me, is there anything that you did to research the current roles that you are in?
I got you with this one.
Okay.
So, back when I was working, I was working for Procter and Gamble, and I talked to like one of my teachers at Princeton, Mr. Sullivan. I talked to him a little bit about the company, and then I did a little bit of personal research. And then my aunt reached out to me, and I did a little bit of research for her. And then after that, I looked at all the positions that I could go out for. And then I looked at what I could already do. And then I looked at more into those positions. And then for the positions that I didn't know or didn't really have any involvement with, I started looking into research about those and then starting to fix up how ways to learn about those specific positions.
Awesome. And so did it make you feel comfortable when you got the position at Procter and Gamble? Because
Yeah, it did.
yep, yeah. It typically helps because you already did that previous research, so it's not like you're going into a place of unknown.
Right.
You somewhat come in a little bit ahead of everyone else because you did the research to better understand where you're going. That's awesome. Great job, Phillip.
So, Mr. Phillip, before you mute yourself back again, and I know you and I have had several conversations, would you mind sharing with Ms. Mathis some of the things that you're interested in for Kroger?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm going to be majoring in cybersecurity and networking. So I really like to be around that technology field.
Mm-hmm.
As specifically ethical hacking, cyber analytics, cyber analyst, stuff like that.
Awesome. That's amazing. I don't know if you're in the Princeton IT program. I do know that Kroger actually offers a high school internship program every summer. I don't know what this summer will look like since everything is being weighed against like the vaccine and all these different things. But I do know that this actually will still happen. So what I'll do is I'll get with my IT team to kind of better understand the qualifications or what that look like. And then I'll connect with Tanya to see if we can get something mapped out around that. But they do like hackathons and all these different things over the summer. And I think it's like a 6-week program, paid.
Okay.
And so if you don't have anything you're doing this summer, we can definitely take a look at seeing if we can get you into that internship program over the summer.
All right. That sounds real good.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. Tanya, that was a hidden gem. You have another? Is there someone else that have?
I know, all of the students has expressed some interest in working, perhaps in Kroger in some ways. And there's some students who are not on a call who attended the virtual piece or whatever. So they was looking for that additional support.
Mhm.
And so I'll leave it up to them. I just know that Mr. Cole has sent me, he talked about communication being one of his strong points. He sent me several reach outs and, being very specific about what he was interested in. So any of the other students that are on the call, if you wanted to unmute yourself, Mr. Donovan had to leave because he had to clock into work.
Okay.
So he'll be able to see the video at a later date. So we'll just kind of reach back out to him. But if anyone else wanted to, Jesse or Mr. Butler or Taryn, if any of you guys, this is your time now to kind of speak up as to, what you would be interested in Kroger, as a career. You'd have the ear of, someone who has some networking ability within the company, and they can help you get directed to one of those areas. So feel free to take yourself off mute and chime in. No.
No.
What?
You'll probably get a few emails after.
I will.
It's okay.
I can go. I just
Okay,
have to
go ahead.
put it together first.
Okay.
So is there like a job or something like that that they have working with like numbers and graphs and money of some sort, like data? And
Yeah. That's a great ask.
negotiations. Yeah, negotiations.
Okay. So we have a negotiation department, but we also have a finance department. So when you think of it around the money, so budget wise, what we make, what we're losing, all of those things to track just the profits from all of our locations, all of our departments, that will be more so like our finance department. And typically they do have an internship program as well. They don't have a high school one. But they do start their interns, I think their sophomore year of college. Negotiation, actually, they do not have an internship program. And again, as a company, we're still trying to identify the areas of the business that do not and try to implement them. And so hopefully when you do decide which one you're just like absolutely head on that this is what you're going to do, I'll still be there. So you'll have someone that you can contact and kind of navigate if that's an opportunity for you or not. But we have a negotiation department and also a finance department that oversee those two things.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Well, if you didn't want to just come off of mute and speak, that's completely fine. Please send that information to Tanya, and then Ms. Tanya will get that information over to me. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay. And so the next piece I want to talk about is just what to look for in a company. And so what to look for when you're researching Kroger or just throughout the industry overall. And so the key thing is always what impact do they make on the community? Again, when we did our first initial session, we went over our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste initiative, and literally, if not 3 or 4 of you guys already knew what that was. And so it's important for you guys to identify socially what a company is not doing just for themselves, but also to give back to the community. You ask yourself also is, will you feel appreciated and valued within that company? And so what does that company stand for when it comes to their employees? Do you have trust in that company? Do they offer something you will enjoy doing? Again, that goes back to what Ms. Tanya said. What are the key things that you're interested in and passionate about? And then letting her know so that I can let you know if that opportunity actually exists within Kroger. And then what's that map, that roadmap to get you there? Does the company values align with your values? Do the company offer flexibility? And then again, we're back to potential salary. Flexibility, again, we ask that you come in flexible, but it's important that a company is flexible as well. I'll give you a great example. As we went through COVID-19, working from Zoom and from our computers was not really something that was traditional for Kroger. So flexibility was something that was new to our company and not ingrained. However, when COVID happened, it was important that they put the associates first. And so immediately from March 18th, we've been working from home. And so having a company that was flexible enough to identify to put their associates' health first was extremely important. And Kroger was able to exhibit that. And again, you have some companies that have some friends who it was 2 months later before they were able to actually work from home. And it was full-fledged into COVID. And so looking for the different flexibilities, if you need to be able to work from home, if you like that opportunity to work from home, unlimited vacation, all of these different things that's very important to you, it's important that you look for a company that aligns with your values and the things that are important to you as well. Okay, so we're going to kickstart your job search. This piece is something I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with. It's more so around your resume and how to build your resume. But from my understanding, this is something you as a Princeton school is 100% familiar with your career approach that you guys already have in place. And so what is a resume? I'm not going to go into that because I'm pretty sure you guys know what a resume is, but really it's just a constructed document that really just showcases everything about you from education to major achievements, additional skills that you want others to know around professional and transferable skills, and then any awards and honors and mentor information that you want to add as well. What's in your resume? We really talked a little bit about it. I highlighted it really quick, but your personal information, summary of your jobs and your goals, education information, references. What I do get a lot of questions for from high school mentees that I have is when they get to explaining things when they never had a job, it's important that you add your volunteer work and community involvement. And that really helps if you never had a position while you were in high school. It still showcased the different skills you were able to learn without having to actually work at a company to get them. Certification and school affiliations is really huge as well. Your personal information really is just your name, your address, home and cell phone number, and then your email address. Making sure you have the correct cell phone number and email address is key, especially your email address. A lot of times as recruiters, we like to contact you through email first and then set up a time that we can speak with you after. The summary of your goals really is just a statement that will just showcase individually and help you to stand out amongst your competition. And so really just that short little paragraph, I think you guys, I've seen a few of your resumes, so I did see some summaries on there, and it just talks about your previous skills and then what you will bring to the company as well. So kind of like your elevator speech a little bit. We'd like to ask that you describe yourself in 6 words. And so a few words to pop in my mind is just energetic, talented, determined. Another thing that I stated before is we always look for friendly. And so putting friendly on there would help as well. Kroger is always looking for friendly associates since we are a customer-driven company. And then also figuring out a way to, within your resume, in the summary piece, to describe your goals. Employment history. You do want to document the company, their address, the summary of your duties, and then a list of accomplishments. But again, as I stated, if you do not have employment history, that is fine. You just want to supplement that with volunteer information. Education information, so about your high school. If you have not graduated and you're going to graduate, you just let us know that what the potential graduation date is. Certification and school club affiliations. A lot of times, a lot of kids miss this. And so I always ask them to go back and add it because you guys being able to balance school and also different clubs is a huge success. And in the corporate American world, we look for that to see if you're able to balance all these different duties. And so make sure you add this. Talk about your school club, explain how you're affiliated and the different job duties that you do, because this also showcases the great skills that you learn as well. And then volunteer history. Again, as I stated, talk about the companies that you volunteer for, your volunteering duties. And then also one key thing that a lot of individuals do not know that we're looking for is within that volunteer work, what is the goal and what is it that you guys are rewarding the community or giving back to? And so helping us to understand what you're doing to make an impact is something really huge that we look for as well. And that is actually a classic time. We usually are almost like really close to our time being cut off. But I wanted to take time. I went through that really fast because I know you guys are completely familiar with resumes. And I really wanted to take time to open up to see if you guys had any questions because we never really have time at the end. And so what I'll do now is I'll just talk about our next session preview. So be prepared to discuss again, distinguishing yourself professionally and personally. We're always going to make sure that in this program, we're teaching you things not just from a professional basis, but personal, because that's the one thing that a lot of people miss. Sometimes you come in professionally, but then when it comes to being able to engage and build those personal brands, I don't think a lot of people connect those two together. And then also a few items we will discuss as well is exploring your career through connecting. So we'll talk about networking and branding yourself doing networking activities, fresh skills and tools for success. So we'll talk about the different departments and the different skills that are required to be successful within those departments. So I'm going to stop for a second. And I'm going to open it up, and if you guys can take yourself off of mute, and I want to just open it up just to see if you guys have any questions related to the information I went over, just any of the information I've actually covered within the last few sessions, or if you want to inquire about anything as we move forward. So I just wanted to give you guys time today because we never had time before to see if we can connect further to see if you guys have any questions. No? You guys are not going to let me off that easy. I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to give them time because we always never have time. And I have to tell you to connect with Miss Tanya and she'll give me the information.
Well, Ms. Taiwana, I do want to say something as it pertains to the resume, a couple. And this is a couple things that we work with. Andrea Burrows is our career counselor for all the seniors that's on the call. And she has done a great job putting together a workshop for resume. So we have a lot of tools for resume building. So for the students who are on the call, if you do not currently have a resume, please let me know so that we can walk through that process of getting you a one-page clean resume that we can use. And number two, as it pertains to email addresses. For the students on the call, your Viking email, businesses won't be able to send you emails to your Viking email because of our firewalls. But I would strongly encourage you to create an email account that's through, Gmail or AOL, Yahoo, but make it a professional email account. You don't want to have a resume that says, I love my cat number 4, at gmail.com as your email for your resume. You want something that maybe is identifiable, easy to write, easy to read it when you see it, something that's recognizable so that when the businesses are looking at your email or sending you an email, it's something that is, up to standard with the company that you're interviewing with. I know when, Ms. Mathis, when we were doing some work with the students who were doing the virtual interviews and going to the sites, some of their emails were so long, it couldn't even fit online. And so we were just encouraging them to, create an email account that's more reflective of a career or a business. So
That's a great call.
I'm sorry?
I said that's a great call. And also, I didn't know that about their Vike email, so I'm happy that you said that. Awesome.
Yeah. So, Mr. Jesse, I haven't heard from you. What about you? We normally get text from Mr. Jesse when he's on the call or chats. Camila? Or did I say it right? You want to take yourself off of mute? Or Greg? Okay.
Well, I will try my best all the time because it really came to me the last time. I was like, I'm never giving them time at the end to connect. So I'll try to make sure that the information we go over at least gives us 5 to 8 to 10 minutes to be able to speak with each other. Please, I hope that as we continue to meet with each other monthly, that you guys feel comfortable with opening up and having that conversation here as we meet, and not having to, wait to connect with Miss Tanya. The goal, I was excited to see that the amount of individuals that signed up, because it allows us to be a little bit more intimate and have those direct conversations. Because granted, if there was a lot, it would be difficult for us to be able to keep up with the different individuals. And so now I know a lot of you guys by name. I see you guys every month. And so I hope that you guys feel comfortable, as you know me by name and Tina, to have those conversations at the end. And the more feedback you give us, and the more things you inquire, allows us to know that when we come back, what proper information we need to bring or what adjustments we need to make sure that this is a program that is extremely beneficial for you, and not just wasting your time or making you guys do anything for an hour. We want to make sure that we're helping, and that we're investing time into you guys, building you up professionally and personally, but then also connecting you guys with opportunities that will allow you to either take advantage of now or when you get out of school your senior year. So I'm not going to ask you guys again to open up or unmute yourself. It's okay. If you guys can send any feedback or any questions you have to Ms. Keys, that will be awesome because she'll send that over to me. Again, if you have any questions or I can help with anything outside of the program, maybe you guys applied to something a few months ago before we even met. Any questions you have pertaining to Kroger, please look at me as your point of contact, and I can connect with whoever throughout the organization to get those answers for you. Again, too, do not be afraid to share customer feedback as well, because we did have some great ones in our first session. And even though we laughed about them because they were very honest, we did still take that back to our operation meetings and really talk about what that meant, and really talk about that experience from a customer perspective. So you guys also impact some changes within our stores around customer service. So everything that you bring is going to be information that we take back to make us better as a company as well.
Got it. Well,
Perfect.
if there's nothing else, if we don't have any students that have anything else that they would like to say, Ms. Mathis, we'd like to thank you for your time again today. Very informative. I was taking notes as well. We will have this video available. We did receive some messages from some students who are in basketball or different sports.
Okay.
And some students are at one of our other partner high schools, and they don't get out in enough time. And so they are reviewing the videos and trying to stay abreast on what's going on. So we do have a good group of students who are getting the communication and the information.
Okay, awesome. Well, I won't see you guys again until after the holidays. So happy holidays to everyone. Happy New Year's. I look forward to hearing about your holidays as we start the next session off next time I see you guys in January. But again, thank you, Ms. Keys, for allowing us this opportunity to partner with you guys this year. And I can only see it getting better. So again, thank you for your continuous feedback to help us as well.
You're welcome. Ms. Main, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I would love to someday have a conversation with you about children with disabilities. I don't know if you and Tanya and I can meet separately to just kind of, hear about your new programs and
absolutely
key that out. So maybe Tanya, you can arrange that since you kind of had the connection, and just kind of give me a couple dates to after the new year.
Yeah. Awesome. That works. Thank you so much. And thank you also I'm excited to meet you. Also, so I can ask you questions, as this is a new program and a new avenue for us. And we want to make sure we do it right and we get it right in the beginning. So if you can, I'll be asking you as many questions as you probably asked me. So I'm excited to meet with you as well.
I have a real passion for it. And I feel like, the schools have done such a great job of inclusion, and there's a lot for companies to learn from that. And
I agree.
And, along with hiring people with disabilities, it's supporting them properly. So yeah, I would love to talk to you.
Thank you.
And it's Inclusion Week. Happy Inclusion Week.
Happy Inclusion Week. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, everybody, have a great afternoon, rest of your day. We look forward to seeing you guys back next month. And as always, go Vikes.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
For including me.